Hello, my name is Len Smith. I am interim pastor at Shepherd's Heart Fellowship here in Osceola, Indiana. And today I'm beginning a new series about the 12 apostles. We know the scriptures tell us much about the 12 apostles, or some people believe there are more than 12 apostles mentioned in the New Testament, and we'll get into that, if not today, in another part of the series. I want to share 3 different sources that I've used to obtain this information, and I guess we could entitle the series, What Happened to the Apostles After Our New Testament Record? The first resource that I'm going to use was a National Geographic magazine that I found years ago and kept, March 2012. And on the front of it, of course, it has part of a picture of Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper, and it's called The Journey of the Apostles. There was a very, very interesting article, and some of the things that I'll be sharing in coming weeks, it comes from this article. Another source that I've used, I believe this is a book that is out of print, and this was by H.S. Vigoreno, and he wrote a book called 13 Men Who Changed the World. And you're probably thinking, okay, there were 12 apostles. Who does he add for number 13? Well, he added the Apostle Paul, or those who would add him as an apostle. And then another reference work printed by Packer, Tenney, and White called the Bible Almanac. It also gives some information as to what happened to the apostles after our New Testament record. The first example that I'm going to give is information about the apostle Andrew. And of course, how do we know what happened to the apostles after the New Testament record? We rely on tradition. And of course, is tradition always accurate? No, it is not. Is tradition sometimes contradictory? Yes, it can be contradictory. For example, in the National Geographic magazine article about the apostles, for Andrew, the first one we're going to work on now, it says, persuaded by John the Baptist, Andrew and his brother Peter became Jesus' first followers. Andrew later preached in Greece and possibly Ukraine. And of course, we know Ukraine has been in the news for over 2 years since the Russian invasion there. From the book 13 Men Who Changed the World, we hear nothing about Andrew in the history of the early church. He passed into obscurity, but then he never was in the limelight, really. From the first day of Peter's discipleship, it always seemed to be Peter, Peter, Peter. Andrew was always elbowed out by his aggressive older brother. According to legend, Andrew traveled to Greece and preached in the province of Achaia. There he became a martyr and was crucified on an X-shaped cross. Centuries later, according to tradition, his relics were taken to Scotland. The ship which bore him was wrecked in a bay, which they subsequently called St. Andrew's Bay. The mariners reached shore and introduced men to the Savior. Andrew became the patron saint of Scotland. When the Union Jack was first put together for the British Isles or the United Kingdom, they placed St. Andrew's cross on the bottom, a diagonal white cross on a blue background. St. George's Cross of England and St. Patrick's of Ireland were on top, but Andrew's was on the bottom. Friendly Andrew is often the basis for evangelism, and that's how the apostles turned the world upside down, according to Acts 17:6. In the Bible Almanac, it also gives some additional information that tradition says Andrew spent his last years in a place in New Testament times known as Scythia, north of the Black Sea. And of course, today that is in Ukraine. In a small book entitled Acts of St. Andrew, probably written about 80 to 60, it says that he preached also in Macedonia and was martyred at Petraeus. Roman Catholic tradition says that Andrew was crucified on an X-shaped cross, a religious symbol that is, of course, known as St. Andrew's Cross. It was believed he was crucified on November 30th, so the Roman Catholic Church and the Greek Orthodox Church observe his festival on that day. As I said, this is the first of a series on the different apostles, and we encourage you to tune in again next week. And also, we invite you to come to any of our life application classes, worship, at 10 o'clock Sunday mornings, and we are now conducting a Bible study on the book of Proverbs verse by verse that meets at 5 p.m. every Sunday evening. Thank you for watching, and think about the impact of the apostles.